Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. I want to thank you so much for coming to see me today. I really appreciate it when you click on my videos. Well, if you haven't seen this before, this one is called the Spring Shawl by Crochet with GG. It's used a 4mm hook and it's got this really great kind of shell design. If you know me, you know I don't generally do tassels, but I did put it on this one and I like it very much. The shawl is a little bit long here in the front, and so I've got it rolled up just a little bit so that this can sit front and center on your front area if that's what you'd like. And this yarn is by Indigo Guinea Fiber, and it's a cashmere blend. So I thought that was very, very soft and very lovely. I saw it at the Midwest Fiber Fest last year, and she had a little truck out in the front, and when she didn't have the weight of the yarn in the color that I wanted, or she didn't have the color of the yarn in the weight that I wanted, she took my order there. You know, I paid for it, and then it shipped to me very, very shortly after that. So I'll go ahead and put her information down below. She had a lot of nice varieties of yarn fiber, and the colors were super nice. And this is really, really soft with the cashmere in it. So, okay, so I worked on something this week to sort of satisfy a continuation of my plushie projects. And I thought that this project was so perfect for me because of issues that I've expressed to you in my previous videos. And so the video is about a faceless teddy bear. Okay. And I thought, you know, I'm having such a hard time with teddy bears that I really wanted to make this. And I thought, you know, it's either going to creep me out because there's no face, or I'm really, really going to enjoy it. So the yarn that she used is a 5-weight yarn, but I wanted to go with this 6-weight yarn in the Snugs and Kisses that, you know, I've been working with. This colorway is called Strawberry Days. It looks a lot more orange here on camera and in person, but there is sort of a pink tinge to it. So it being a 6-weight yarn, I knew that the project was going to be a little bit different. And it was becoming gigantic. I still was only working like halfway up through the face, and I was already running out of yarn. So I stopped working on that, just to kind of show you how far I had gotten. And this is only the face. I have to finish the whole rest of the back of the head, the whole body, arms, legs, ears, everything. So that's going to get frogged out and put to the side. But the yarn that I did use for the project, as you saw by the thumbnail, was this velvet yarn that I bought from Comfy Time. Now it's made out of polyester, but they call it velvet yarn. And I meant to look up what chenille, hold on. This chenille yarn that I bought, it says chenille on the label there, but then it is also made out of polyester. So I really wonder, you know, why they would call it velvet or chenille when it's polyester and thereabouts. So you can see it's kind of different. This one is fully like around, and this one's sort of like flat in 2D. It's fluffy to the sides, but there's no roundness to the strand of yarn. So anyways, the two colors that I purchased was, I think it was called light gray and khaki. And this is a really, really nice, like golden brown. So immediately I was thinking teddy bear from this. So she shows, and it's a 5-weight, and it's 100 grams for the skein. And I have 3 of them. And that's what she shows, that she's using 3 skeins of 5-weight yarn, but she's using a 6mm hook. So Amy goes down to a 5.5mm hook, hoping to stretch that yarn out. So 1 whole skein took up the head. I had a tiny little ball of what was left over from that skein just to make the head. And so then I knew that it would take at least 1 whole skein to make the body. So when I got to, I've got 2 arms, 2 legs, and 2 ears. And I made the first arm, and it was 25 grams. So I'm telling myself, I've got, you know, divide that by 4. I can only make 2 arms and 2 legs. I won't even get to the ears, and the legs are bigger than the arms. So I knew right away that that was not gonna work out for me. So this is one of the arms, and this is 25 grams. So I knew I was gonna have to flip gears because I certainly wasn't going to buy more yarn. If you didn't hear the story about that, you can watch my previous video. But this gray that I also had, I thought either this is going to look really cute or really weird, really bad. But I'm still just in the process of making stuff and trying stuff out, trying new stitches, trying new patterns, whatever. So I went ahead and I did make both arms, and I even stuffed one of the arms. So I frogged that one to take the stuffing out. I still wanted to show you what one of them was like. But it was very, very difficult to frog. So if you end up with yarn like this, you'll have to probably do like I did, and with each stitch you have to lift the one up and then pull it out, lift the top up and then pull it out. Like, it was slow going. You don't just rip like you know we normally do on acrylic yarns and so forth. So I'll still have this one to do, but later, because I was tired of working with the other leg or the other arm. So my teddy bear has ears and arms and legs out of the gray, and his head and his body are out of the brown. So I used 135 grams of the gray, so 190 grams of the khaki, of the brown. So I knew I would have needed a whole nother cake or skein of yarn if I was going to make that work all out of the brown. So I really did like how this turned out. You know, a lot of you say that I'm pretty hard on myself, and maybe I am. You know, I can own that. So I try to let it go a little bit and just realize that these are just for fun, or just for scrunchy, you know, squeezy, lovey, whatevers. And when my grandkids were here yesterday, I was working on one of the arms. I think it was the arm. And my little girl came over and said, "What are you doing, Grandma? What are you making?" And so I had her working with me, you know. I showed her how I put a stitch marker in and then was working in the round. So I had her count with me up to the 12 stitches or the 18 stitches, wherever I was, on those. So she had like a part in it, and I told her I was making a teddy bear, and she said, "Are you making it for me?" And I was like, "Well, no, I'm just making it." But it, you know, she's probably going to get it. Of course she's going to get it. So one of the reasons that I had started my channel, or one of the things that I like to talk about on my channel, is I buy clearance yarn and then just have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. And so a lot of times in the beginning, I was trying to just show you what I've done with the yarn that I have in my stash. Try to motivate or inspire you to just pick something up and work with it. You know, if you saw me work with something similar to what you have in your yarn, in your stash, then, you know, maybe that'll get you moving and want to use that yarn. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if I worked on it, I know you can too. So that's why I'm showing you this, because, you know, I show you guys everything that I make and then tell you whether it's a good or a bad, a fail or a fabulous. And I really didn't think that I was going to like this. I thought that when I started making the gray parts that it was just like, I'm making it, I'm going to finish it and be done with it. But I really, really kind of like it. I had to sew all the stuff on today. I had to finish one of the arms and then put everything together, assemble it all before my video this morning. It's good to start with a fresh brain. You know, first thing in the morning, got a new cup of coffee. I'm ready to go. I have no, like, you know, being tired throughout the day to sort of sit on my mind when I'm trying to focus on this. It wasn't easy. There was a bit of a struggle, and I want to make another one, because I do want to make one in all one color, but I really, really like how he turned out. So beep, 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 beep. Oh my God. These ears are so yummy and soft and squishy. So yeah, so here's the size of his face when you can see like what size, like this is probably as big as that is. I don't know. It feels a whole lot bigger in real life, but yay. So his head is a little bit bonky donkey, a little bit, just a little bit, not too bad. The head is solid, completely closed up when you're done with him, but you leave the body open on the neck to sew that together. And you're supposed to continue to stuff it as you go. And I kind of like forgot. number one. Number two, I thought that I could have stuffed the head a little bit more. I was trying not to overstuff it, but it feels a little bit less than, so I think I could have done a little bit more there. And then he's got a little tail too. I forgot about his tail. How cute. So you just do a little bit, and then they do have you stuff it. You know, the pattern does call to stuff it a little bit, but the ears are not stuffed, and you only stuff the arms up to this point, and then it's kind of flat from there. I don't know that his arms are as perfectly centered as I would have liked them to be. I think I would have wanted his arms to be a little bit closer to the front of his body. But what do you think? Would you make one out of 2 different colors? And so that's what I was trying to get back to, is that, you know, sometimes you don't have all one color of yarn to make a project like this. Would you have done it with separate colors, or would you just have frogged the whole thing and did something different instead? It is so soft. Oh my goodness. This is definitely one of those that I could feel myself, you know, walking around the house with like crazy. I don't know where I lived, where I was in my life before I ever touched this chenille velvet yarn, because I am obsessed with it. I cannot stop. Do I love this sort of 2D? You know, it's not 3D. It's like kind of a flat, fluffy yarn of the 5. I don't think I do. I think I really like the rounded strand of yarn much better. The other thing about this yarn, and I already complained to you about the price, but there were a million factory knots within it. For this particular project, it didn't really matter. I tugged on it to make sure it was secure, and then I just left it there and crocheted those to be on the inside of the project. You guys, I was not crooked. Look how crooked my tail is. I was not paying attention. It needs to be over here more. I made sure I was counting up the number of rows. Look at I made sure I was counting up the number of rows to get to the right level on his backside for the tail. I'm going to take that off and redo it. I didn't realize how crooked it was. You guys, I got to focus sometimes a little bit better. All sewn together. I just love him. Look, look, look. Like I could almost take the tail off completely and not even care. Like you wouldn't even know. It's just a crooked tail. Crooked tail. Okay, guys. So I will link this down below. This was by Danielle L Designs. And I had been telling you about making all the plushies and stuff that are made with funky color yarns, fun color yarns. And I stick to like brown for a teddy bear, gray for an elephant, whatever. And so I really wanted to kind of stretch out. And that's what I was trying to do with that Strawberry Days. But it was too big and I didn't have enough of it. So yay, I got him made up. I love, love, love that. So maybe now I will have it in me to complete my other teddy bear that I made. I showed you. I have all the parts made. I just have to put them all together. The pins, I was in making the big teddy bear, the faceless teddy bear, I was using the pins more so to mark my spots and not try to pin the items into the teddy bear, you know, and that seemed to work out a lot better. Now, again, this is big yarn, so those pins like almost went through a stitch hole sometimes, so you got to be careful with that if you're doing that. But so I'm going to get around to putting that teddy bear together. Hopefully I'll be able to show him to you next video. So I told you guys that we were going fishing last week, and it was fun. It was fun. It wasn't, I didn't get a chance to fish in a situation where we had the kiddos hanging around. You know, my boy is just 1.5 years, and he wants to be on the go. He does not want to sit still, and at the river's edge, that's a problem. And he's a screamer. If you're touching him and he doesn't want you to touch him, he screams bloody murder. So then everybody around you is looking at him and looking at you and why are you killing your child? And so the whole thing was that I was going to watch the kids, and then their mom was going to get a chance to fish. So that didn't happen because Michael only wanted mom. Michael did not want grandma at all. So grandma had no fishing license and just kind of hanging around, trying to help out where I could. Michael just was keeping his mama away from the river completely. My Astrid girl is doing so well. She's got a little frozen fishing pole, and she was casting and reeling in and getting stuck on lots of stuff that we had to keep helping her get off of. But she's doing great, and we can't wait until the next time we can take her, because she's really showing promise. You know, if we could keep her at a place that didn't have so many growth at the river's edge, it was like all the grasses and roots to the trees and stuff that she was getting caught up in. So we'll look for a better location for that next time. But it's a great park, Montauk Park. It's packed with people on the weekend, so next time we're definitely going to go during the week. Some other just chit-chatty things. I did make a purchase on eBay of yarn. I should have shared that with you first. It was sort of an impulse buy, of course, as you know, I'm often succumb to my impulse purchases. I was looking just at whatever postings were going to be expiring soon, as I like to do, just what's about to drop off or renew that, you know, didn't sell or whatever. And there was this group of DK yarn. This is by Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. So it must be merino. It is made of 50% merino, 25% acrylic, and 25% nylon. Each one of these is 100 grams. It is a 3-weight, and they suggest a 4mm hook for it. So this colorway is called Linen, real soft brown. And then this one is called Chambray in this great grayish color. And then this one's called Blush, and it's a really, really light pink. So I thought that was she did a good job of putting those colorways together. And she advertised there was a knot in it, which I didn't see until after I'd purchased it, but I really don't care. We'll deal with that. So each of these on a regular sale or a regular price is $6.99. And there's no evidence of a orange clearance tag. So I don't know if she paid full price for these or just on a 30% off week or what, but she had the whole lot of them listed for $8 plus shipping. And so it came to about $15 for all three. I certainly would have purchased each one for $5 a piece. So I'm very, very pleased with it. I saw that she had some other postings that were bid on, so she was going to have to go to the post office. I kind of get a little frustrated I love to sell things on eBay, but when I only have one box at a time to take to the post office, it's just a little bit pain in the butt or whatever, you know. So since she already had some other postings that were being sold, I thought, yeah, I'll go ahead and buy this now too, so she doesn't have to go to the post office just for one thing. So I have no purpose, no plan in mind for it. I just thought it was a really nice color and a good price. So that'll go on the, and their yardage is 227. So 660, 70, 81 yards. Nice. I'll make a real nice little shawl or something out of that. So the rest of the things that I have to chit chat about with you is, oh, I forgot to say, on the fishing trip, we drive literally right past a beautiful yarn store called the Painted Egg in St. James, I think, Missouri. Literally, we drive right past it. And that's how my husband found it on a previous fishing trip. He came home and said, hey, do you know about this yarn store? So we went down and visited them before, and I bought this beautiful hedgehog fibers. I bought that from her. Beautiful, beautiful. This one's called Dew, and this one is called Blue Lobster, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And so if timing would have been different, like they were open from 10 to 2, and of course we drove through at like 9:15, and we're leaving at like 3 or something like that. So it didn't work out for this trip for me to stop by there again. But I look forward to, I kind of was like looking at these 2 skeins, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So maybe I want to buy a third. A 4, you know, like 2 more maybe to hold together and work it like a DK, because I like to do that. Like a solid color, maybe the white or that hot pink that's running through. I don't know. So bummed that I missed the Painted Egg, but it can't always line up with your schedule. You know, we were there with other people, so it wouldn't have been very nice for me to say, okay, everybody has to sit and wait in the parking lot for 45 minutes until this shop opens so I can buy yarn. Funny thing about the fishing trip, we have a Blackstone griddle. I don't know if any of you are aware of what that is, and we store it in the garage. But my husband takes the griddle part off and brings that in the house so that it doesn't rust, because there's like moisture and stuff obviously out in the garage. So he pulled the part from the garage but didn't bring the grill top. So we had just like open flame from the propane, you know, and no grill to put our hot dogs on. Now, luckily we got hot dogs. We brought hot dogs and brats. So we just used a fillet knife, a fishing fillet knife out of one of the guys' tackle boxes. And we're sort of skewering the hot dog, you know, each our own. So not the best circumstance. We tried to like whittle down some sticks and kind of do like a, you know, roast hot dogs on a stick, but the sticks just got burning, so that didn't work. I did get a little bit of sun on my nose and on my forehead because I did not put any sunscreen on, and I need to not do that anymore. I need to put sunscreen on, so shame on me for that. And I cut my finger. I was washing or trying to wipe down the fillet knives when we were closing up everything, and I sliced my finger. Ding dong. So that made a fun end to the trip, and then we still had about a 2.5 hour drive home, so that was fun. Showed you that. Oh, I'm gonna put in a picture here. This is not my picture. I didn't take a picture, and I didn't pull it from my dash cam soon enough, so it got filmed over. It only retains a certain amount of time before it will lose that file and add on. So anyway, if you've ever seen one of these in person, it is hysterical to see. But they rig up these giant shopping carts to have a motor in them and drive, and we saw one like this on a flatbed trailer. So it was just really funny. I'm like mid-sentence and then you see it and you're like, oh. And then I wanted to share with you, we went to, you know, it's Lent, it's still Lent season. And so we went to this Catholic church for a fish fry that we have been to before, because they have fish tacos and they're absolutely delicious. And so when we went this time, the first night that we went, they had like river dance, Irish dancers doing the whole tappity tappity. So that was really fun and, you know, kind of exciting. We didn't expect to have any entertainment with our dinner, but we did. And so it's at this Catholic church and school. And so we're in the gymnasium, basically. So there's just big lunch tables that fit about, they're roundish. They fit about 8 to 10 people, I think 8 people. And so it's all like just a big old family environment. So you just expect to sit with people, you know, that you go to church with on Sundays, or like for us, we don't go there. Like, so we just have to find an empty table or ask somebody if we could sit with them. So we converged onto this table at the same time as this family of 4. And we asked, could we sit together? Oh yeah, sure, no problem. So we sit down, and there are 2 young daughters. One, I would say, is probably about 9, the other like 11. Well, the 11-year-old is having a fit. She's got her head down, she's crying. Mom is very sternly speaking with her about her attitude and whatever. We're trying not to pay too much attention. And the dad is like over here trying to be in a whole nother world. He's just like, do. The other daughter is trying to offer her sister some cheer me ups, and she wasn't having it. So now she's mad that she's being difficult. It was the most awkward dinner ever. And then the husband is like getting a tray of stuff to throw away, and the wife goes, "Did you eat your green beans?" My husband and I both felt like scolded sitting there at the table. He goes, "Yes, I ate my green beans." We just hurry up and ate and left. So then on the second time we went, like a couple of weeks later, we went again, and they had Hispanic cultural dancers with big dresses and big colorful stage props. It was beautiful, and it, you know, just again, very unexpected. We didn't know we were going to be getting some entertainment with dinner, so it was very nice. And we sat down at a table where there was a man and woman, and nobody else at that table. So we asked if we could sit with them, and they were like, sure, I don't know if they expected us or, you know, weren't expecting anybody to ask to sit with them, but they made it feel very like, well, we already asked, so we're not just going to walk away. So we sat down and just try to eat as quickly as we can. And there, again, with the family closeness of this environment, they were talking across the table from us, but right up behind them were people standing up from the other table behind them. And they were like crowded all up in their business. Like, give me some elbow space. She kept getting bumped in the head by people. So eventually they were like, okay, this is not cool. And they got up and left. And then I felt very, very bad, you know, like it wasn't a fun situation. Not what we've experienced in the past. So we only go a couple of times each Lent season. And so we're done for this season. We'll see them again next year and see what happens. And the last thing I wanted to share with you guys before we say goodbye was, I don't know if you've seen it or not. They popped up on my reels, either through Facebook or through YouTube. I have to list it from India Crawford. She does these little knitted frog scenes. Like, I don't know, like there's a number of levels of fantastic in this. Number one, the idea altogether is just incredible. Number two, each of the pieces are knitted and made and created. Number three, they make a little movie. They move these things, take a picture, move a thing. Like, I don't know how they do it. I don't even know how to imagine that they do it. But there's a whole scene, like the little froggy, this little knitted froggy makes a pie. And they sit down by the fire and they swing on the swing. And it is incredible. So if you have not seen these yet, I am obsessed with watching these when they come out. Real short little clips, but you just sit in awe at the creativity and the talent and the craftsmanship involved in this. It's incredible. So, all right, that's what I've got for you this week. Next week, we are headed to Comic-Con. So I don't know how much crocheting I'm going to get done. I have been working really hard on getting my shawl for my Shawl Share, my Shawl Swap 2026. I've been really working on that, and it's taken a lot of focus, but I'm getting concerned that I'm not going to get done in time, so I'm really trying to focus on it. So I don't know how much of crocheting I'm going to get done during our vacation, but we'll have the dogs with us, so I know that we're not going to be out and about a whole lot. We might be, you know, at the campsite quite a bit, so that will benefit me in that regard. So, all right, guys, that's what I've got to share with you. Maybe a couple videos at the end of my beautiful scenery here. Hope you stick around to enjoy that. Thank you so much for sitting with me today. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.